Heart.
This is not new territory for Hinckley. Just 5 months before, he is captured on video, staking out President Carter. But then, as now, there was no warning of Hinckley's real intentions. Reagan addresses the Union meeting. The speech.
You and your forebears built our nation. Now, please help us rebuild it. And together, we'll make America great again. Thank you.
The right rear door where he enters.
When we came out the door, we were paying a heck of a lot of attention. As a matter of fact, I think I was telling the president a joke because he loved a good story. But as soon as we exited to our left, a member of the media shouted a question.
So I had my tape recorder on and was ready, and when I saw the president come out the door and turn, I shouted, "Mr. President," to get his attention. I thought he began to turn toward me, and I thought, maybe I'm going to get that question.
Reagan turns to hear the question and slows down, presenting a momentary target to Hinckley.
Mr. Hinckley shot over my right shoulder. I could smell it. I could smell the powder. And so I knew what was happening. I mean, instinctively I knew what was happening, and I crouched down to get out of the way because it was right in my right ear.
Hinckley fires 6 shots in 3 seconds. The first hits Press Secretary Jim Brady full in the head. The second strikes police officer Delahunty in the back of the neck. Less than a second after the first shot, Secret Service agents are reacting.
As I turned toward where the shots were coming from, I drew my weapon in this direction. I can actually see the individual who is firing from the crowd. Just as I was looking to discharge my weapon, an officer comes across my line of fire.
Hinckley has the chance to fire 3 more shots before he's tackled. The third hits Agent Tim McCarthy in the stomach. The fourth hits the glass of the presidential limousine and ricochets away. Hinckley fires his 5th bullet. It's heading wide of its target towards the back of the limousine, but is deflected off at an angle of 30 degrees towards the moving figure of President Reagan.
The chief of the president's Secret Service detail, Jerry Parr, grabbed the president from behind and threw him forward right in front of me and into the car, and he went in head first, and Jerry Parr piled in behind him.
Unknown to everyone, the bullet has passed through the inch-wide gap between the car and the open door frame, striking Reagan under his left arm.
And then there was a moment of silence.
The presidential limousine heads for the security of the White House.
We got in the cars.
Others are clearly not so lucky. Press Secretary Jim Brady is bleeding from a head wound. Agents McCarthy and Delahunty lie close by. There is an agonizing wait for ambulances. It is at least clear that the gunman has been caught, and Secret Service agent Danny Spriggs finds himself in the role of arresting officer.
Once in the car, there was a period of just complete silence, a matter of seconds. And then my partner, Dennis McCarthy.
We were going back to the White House, but all of a sudden, the limousine, which is right in front of us, veered across traffic on Connecticut Avenue and was going into facing traffic with the red lights and sirens, which I thought was strange.
Seeing the president cough blood, Carr realizes that something is seriously wrong and makes a snap decision to go to the nearest hospital.
Then it became clear to me that we were going to George Washington Hospital. I thought, well, I don't know why we're going here unless they, want to get him to be sure he's checked out.
Reagan's breathing gets shallower as his lung fills up with his own blood. Without urgent medical intervention, the president will be dead inside 20 minutes.
He did something he always did when he'd been sitting for a while, and he hitched up his pants like an old cowboy in a western, and walked into the hospital.
So I was like, can I help you? What's wrong? Is there a problem? And he's like, do you have a wheelchair? Can you get a wheelchair? And I looked around, and oftentimes it's so busy, we didn't have any wheelchairs.
President Reagan has lost a quarter of his blood volume and is minutes from going into shock.
So I said, well, what's the matter? And he said, I just feel like I can't get my breath. I just feel bad. I just feel like I can't breathe.
At which point, he crossed the door frame of the hospital and went...
Okay.
Folks, everyone back. Let's go. Move back. Let's go. Leave those people back. Move back. Move back. We have a situation here. Folks, everyone back. Let's go. Move back. Where's he going? Let's go. Let's go. Move over. Make a hole,
I was thinking cardiac.
Is there. It borders on a little bit of a circus in a sense.
Please move. Everyone back.
I was kind of keeping a wary eye. I was more walking along behind, just keeping a wary eye on things to make sure that somebody didn't do something dumb along the way, like reach out and grab the president or hold a flash bulb up in front of his face and try to grab a quick picture of some crazy thing. Of course, once you get to the operating room, then all that falls away.
Albert. All right.
Nancy says goodbye to her husband. She knows, despite the doctor's reassurance, this may be the last time she sees him alive.
Okay, great. Thank you, people. Let's go.
All right, when the president went into surgery, it wasn't a heck of a lot we could do. I said to her, there's a chapel on this floor. Would you like to go to the chapel? And she said, oh, that's a very good idea. I would love to go to the chapel.
While the president has been the center of attention, in the same hospital, surgery has already started on Agent Tim McCarthy and Press Secretary Jim Brady. McCarthy is expected to survive. Brady is not. Nancy prays for all the victims of the shooting.
The president's brother tells CBS News that Mr. Reagan, that he has been told that President Reagan is in surgery.
We have the same report.
It actually turned out to be almost at the other side of the lung, within maybe half an inch.
Aaron cuts a small incision in the left lung, close to where he now knows the bullet to be. And, taking great care not to push it back inside, clamps the jaws of his tweezers onto Hinckley's fifth bullet.
And there we are.
A flattened 22.
I remember, for as calm as the guy is, he was very happy and very ecstatic. You could tell there's a smile under his mask.
Held the bullet up for all to see, and about 2 seconds later, a paper cup is in front of my face and says,